Hey everyone, Mr. Smith here. Earlier this morning, we went and uploaded some guided practice problems for you to do in Google Classroom or the platform that your teacher is using. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do these problems as a little bit of a follow along, or you could complete the assignment first, see how you did, and then look back at this video to see if you got the answers correct or wrong, and then you can see where the mistakes were. So let's go ahead and go into this. And if you hear drinking right now, I apologize. My lovely dog Luca decided to choose this time to get a big water drink. So now, before we begin, I do want to go over the formulas for area and perimeter. With perimeter, we've got two. You can either add all the sides together, which is length plus width plus length plus width, or you could do 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, and I will explain how we got those. To find area of a rectangle is a lot easier. All you have to do is multiply the length times the width. For the perimeter of a square, you also have two formulas as well. You can either add all the sides, and they're all the same length, because remember, squares are a special type of rectangle where all the side lengths are congruent. Or you could do 4 times the side length. Area, just like with a rectangle, is also very simple. It is side length times side length. Forgive me, my S's look like 5s. I've been trying to work on that for a good while now. Now that we have our little formulas, let's go ahead and go into our problems. Ray has a rectangular backyard. This word is going to be very important for us in this question. The backyard measures 25 feet long by 20 feet wide. What is the perimeter of Ray's backyard? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a quick model for us. So he has a length of 25, that should be a 25 feet, and a width of 20 feet. So a length of 25 and a width of 20. Going back to our perimeter, our knowledge of perimeter, if this side is 25 feet, this side also has to be 25 feet. And if this side is 20 feet, this side also has to be 20 feet. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show the first one. Perimeter is equal to length plus width plus length plus width. And on this side here, I will do the 2L plus 2W. And I'll explain those shortly. Basically, wherever you have an L, and I'm going to put an L right here because this is the length, and a W here for the width as well. Wherever you see an L, you're going to replace it with 25 feet because our length is 25 feet. And wherever you see a W, you're going to replace it with 20. So if we do this bit by bit, 25 plus 20 is 45. 25 plus 20 is 45. And we can just add those two parts together. 45 plus 45. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry your 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Plus 4, 9. It's 90. So our perimeter is 90 feet. But I don't want to leave out this formula, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show this formula. I have 2L and 2W. You're probably wondering, where did we get the 2 from? Real straightforward. There are two 25s in this rectangle, so rather than having to add the two 25s, I could just say, you know what, 25 and 25, that's the same thing as doing 25 times 2. So 2 times 25. And then, since there are two 20s, rather than doing 20 plus 20, I could do 2 times 20. Basically, the idea is since the opposite sides are congruent, you've got two sides that are congruent, you can multiply it by 2. So 2 times 25, think of it as 2 quarters. 2 quarters adds up to 50 cents. That gives me 50. 2 times 20 is 40. And if we add those two numbers together, they also give us 90. Personally, I like this one the better. I like this one the best, although this is also useful as well. Normally with perimeter, the idea is to add all sides together. Now, in problem number 2, a pool table has a length of 10 feet and a width of 4 feet. What is the area of the pool table? Now, unlike question 1, where it actually told us the shape, it was rectangular, question 2 does not give us that option. It does not give us a shape. We actually have to figure that out. What they're hoping to do is, you're not going to know the difference between a square and a rectangle. But we do know what the difference between a square and a rectangle is. All the sides of a square are the exact same length. Therefore, if I drew this picture out, I have a length of 10 feet and a width of 4 feet. Looking at that, those are not the same lengths, so this has to be a rectangle. So if I go back to my rectangle formula, area equals length times width, basically, all I'm doing is 10 times 4, which, if I recall our times table facts, which this is one of the almost instantaneous ones, 10 times 4 is 40 square feet. And you're probably wondering, wait a second, where did that square come from? Where did that little 2 come from? Well, in math, in 5th grade onward, you're going to start seeing these. These are called exponents. It basically tells you how many times you multiply the same number to itself, but that's for another time. To show you where you get the square feet from, let's do this. For length, we're going to make columns. So I'm going to split this in half, and I'm going to cut each half into fifths. And there it is. I'm going to split across in half because I got to cut this into, the width will be the rows. So you got here and here. Since I have 10 rows, or 10 columns, I'm sorry, 10 columns, and 4 squares in each column, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, I have 40 squares inside the rectangle, and since our unit of measure is feet in this one, we call it 40 square feet. C would be your answer. On to number 3. A park is shown in the figure below. What is the perimeter of the following figure? Usually, they will give you both lengths in questions particularly like this, but if they don't, that is a safe bet to say that all the sides are the exact same length, so therefore this has to be a square. All the sides are exactly 45 meters. And if we look at our square formula, we have two options. We have perimeter is equal to side length plus side length plus side length plus side length. Or you can do perimeter is equal to 4 times just one of the side lengths. We're going to go ahead and do both of them. 45 plus 45 plus 45 plus 45. Well, I'm going to go over to the side here and do the first two. 45 plus 45, 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1, 90. So these two add up to 90. Well, if those two 45s added up to 90, then these two have to also add up to 90. So now we can do 90 plus 90. 0, 18. So we're given a perimeter of 180 meters. But let's double check. If I do my multiplication formula, it'd be 4 times 45. That looks to me like your standard multiplication. In my homeroom, we call this boots only. 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. 4 times 4 is 16, plus the 2 on top, 18, 180. Both numbers match, so we can for sure say that this is 180 meters. Now, unlike area, this is just regular meters. The idea is, if I were to, like for example, break the square up here and I stretch out all the side lengths in one line, it's going to be a gigantic line with an overall length of 180 meters. So that's how you do perimeter. Perimeter goes around the figure. 4. Jacob has a sandbox in his backyard. The sandbox is shown below. Once again, this is 12 meters. This side length right here. I don't see any other measures, so this is a safe bet that this is going to be all the same length. What is the area of this sandbox? If you heard a deep sigh, that was Luca. What is the area of the sandbox? Well, once again, area formula, and if we look at it right up here, side length times side length, it is basically area is equal to side length times side length, which is basically 12 times 12. And given our times tables, 12 times 12 is 144 square meters. Now, just like in the previous problem up here, if I were to make 12 columns and 12 rows, I am going to get 144 squares inside the overall square. And since our unit of measure is meters, we call those square meters. So the sandbox covers 144 square meters of space. Now, number 5 is the first of our multi-step problems. Max has a bedroom that is 11 feet long and 12 feet wide. Tony has a room that is 11 feet long and 9 feet wide. What is the difference in the area of their two bedrooms? You've got Max and Tony. I'm going to draw their two rectangles here. It's a little bit of a rough drawing, so forgive me. Max is 11 feet long, 12 feet wide. I know I should have put it the other way, but you get the idea. And the other part is 11 feet long and 9 feet wide. First off, before we can even get the answer, we actually have to find the area of each of their bedrooms. So in this case, Max would be area is length times width, and Tony's would also be length times width. Max's length is 11 and his width is 12, which with our times tables would be 132 square feet. Tony, his is also, he has the same length, but his is a little bit shorter and 9 feet. I should have put the symbols there, sorry. So 11 times 9, 99 square feet. If you noticed, we do not see any of those there, and if there was, that would have been what I call the first step trap. This is a multi-step problem, so you actually have a little bit more work to do. The final step would have been to take 132 and subtract 99 from it. 2 minus 9, we cannot do that, so we have to regroup. 12 minus 9 is 3. Not enough here, so the difference was 33 square feet. Now probably one of the more trickier questions you will see in assignments down the road. And finally, question 6. A small square aquarium has a perimeter of 32 inches. What is the area of the aquarium? Well, if it's in the shape of a square, has a perimeter of 32 inches. What is the area of the aquarium? Well, I'm going to draw this picture out. We have a thing that is 32 inches in perimeter, but I want to find out what the side lengths are. I'm going to show you an interesting trick here. Remember how we have two perimeter formulas? We have either add all the side lengths or 4 times s. Let's bring the 4 times s into this. Perimeter is equal to 4 times the side length. Now pay very close attention to this. We know our perimeter here if you really think about it, so we could actually replace the p with 32. Because remember how in the previous questions we were replacing lengths with whatever their length was and our width with whatever the width was given to us? It's the same thing, only this time we were given the perimeter. So in this case, we're thinking of 32 is equal to 4 times the side length. That looks like a times table fact if you think about it. Let me refix that s and let me think of it as blank. 32 is equal to 4 times what? Well, 4 times 8 would give me 32. So our side length would actually have to be 8 inches. So if the side length is 8 inches and it's a square, all of them have to be 8 inches. But are we looking for the perimeter or are we actually looking for the side length? No. So therefore, do not choose A. That would be what we call the first step trap. Do not pick that. Instead, let's look at, we have to find the area. The area of this aquarium would simply be length. I apologize, it's for rectangle. Area would actually be side length times side length. And since it's a square, all the sides are of equal length, so it's 8 times 8, which would give us 64 square inches, which would be letter C. And those are the guided practice problems for you guys to follow along. You have been given independent practice for you guys to work on. Go ahead and get that taken care of and turn it in once you are finished. I hope these problems have been clarified for you, or you did a real good job on it. Like I said, if you have any questions, please get in touch with me or Ms. Luckemeyer, and enjoy the rest of your day.